Broadcasting live from Mishra's workshop at the North Pole. This is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome, everybody.
That's where Mishra's workshop is?
Apparently,
why not?
yeah.
It's just where workshops are.
I
makes so much sense
assume
now.
with the climate change caused by the Brothers' War that if
Yeah.
it wasn't, it looked like it, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
Santa's there, and then Mishra's
Because it caused an ice age.
Yep.
a couple bits over.
Yep.
And
Cool.
presumably the guy from the Sorcerer's Apprentice
And then there's like a Blightsteel Colossus wandering around too.
was like lost.
Yeah.
Where am I?
This is a sad picture we're painting.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to Tap Tap Concede. Graham here,
James.
Cameron here.
and today we're going to talk about. Well, we're recording this on December 23rd, so that seems like an appropriate time to look back at the year that was 2017.
Yeah. Well, it's 16.
2016.
2016.
No,
yeah.
I'm a time traveler now.
Oh, you're actually okay.
I'll be.
How was 2017?
It was pretty cool.
It was better than 2016
In Magic or in general?
in general.
It would be hard to be worse.
That's
Yeah.
true. How about in Magic?
Yeah, no, I think so.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
That the Amonkhet is fun.
Amonkhet's good.
Yeah, all the mummies.
Hour of Devastation, actually, red herring. They actually.
Yeah, it was
It's a happy ending.
happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the mummies get married.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not
Definitely.
convinced we're coming back to Amonkhet anytime soon with a next set called Hour of Devastation.
Nicol Bolas joins the Gatewatch. It's fine.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's
that
fine.
makes so much
yeah.
sense.
Okay, yeah, enemies united against a common foe who is
Weirdly, Oath of Bolas, super underpowered.
really.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be a functional reprint of Cruel Ultimatum.
On a stick.
Yeah,
On an
that you
enchantment.
could flicker.
Yeah. At the beginning of your upkeep, Cruel Ultimatum.
No.
But it casts for red, blue.
You know,
blue,
would that
blue,
even be
blue, black,
busted on
black,
like
black,
turn
black.
7? You resolve Cruel Ultimatum and get to Cruel Ultimatum again every turn?
That
Yeah.
seems pretty freaking good.
Because
Yeah.
you could theoretically come back from a Cruel Ultimatum,
Yeah.
but
Like-
not two of them.
Yeah. Or 3. Or
Well,
many.
well, what if Cruel Ultimatum was like one of those? What was it? The like super.
Oh, the epic spells
Epic
from
spell.
Kamigawa. Yeah.
Where you
Oh,
can't.
Yeah, where you can't do anything
I
else.
don't. Yeah, maybe. I don't know how you're gonna.
What a weird cycle.
That's a yeah.
For those keeping score, there was this keyword called epic that was in Kamigawa. It was only on 5 cards. It was a cycle, 1 in each color, 5 cards. And it was, you cast the spell and it did a thing. But then the epic keyword is, you can, you cast this spell for free every turn, but that's all you do for the rest of the game.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
can't cast any other spells.
I play the green one in my snake deck.
Yeah.
In my snake mana
I heard the
deck.
white one was actually a standard thing because it tutored up an enchantment and put it into play.
There's Endless Swarm. Cast for 5 green. Sorcery. Put a 1/1 green snake creature token into play for each card in your hand. And then it has Epic, which is, reads, for the rest of the game, you can't play spells. At the beginning of each of your upkeep, copy this spell except for its Epic ability.
The white one is like, unless you have a very well set up deck,
I mean,
like enchantments
well,
usually don't kill your opponent.
Standard.
Hondens.
Yeah.
Hondens do.
Hondens do.
What are Hondens?
So there was a cycle of Hondens in Kamigawa block, the shrines.
Oh, right.
And it was the Honden of Burning Rage, was it?
Yeah.
No, that's the
Yeah,
Shrine of Burning Rage.
Yeah,
but
and
they
Honden
were
of-
shrines, but there was the Honden.
Honden of Xing Fire thing.
The red,
Yeah.
the red Honden was at the beginning of your upkeep, deal 1 damage to target creature or player for every shrine you control.
Yeah.
And the black one made them discard, and the white one made you gain life. Yeah,
Right,
Honden of
right.
Hunting Fire.
You certainly aren't winning the game with the white one. But
No,
if you have all 5 out, then you're good to go.
Yep.
or just multiples, because again, it's,
That's true.
Yeah.
How about
You
all
can-
5 out and 4 of each?
then that's insane. That's 20. That's 20 shrines.
Yeah.
So that means at the beginning of your upkeep, you're gaining 40
life.
times 5.
Oh, yeah,
times
yeah.
4. So you're gaining
Yeah.
120 life.
Okay.
You're dealing 20. You're dealing 100 damage. My math was off on that life gain. It doesn't matter. Anyway, you're drawing infinite cards. Ooh, that's actually
Yeah,
bad.
that's
Oh, that's
bad.
real bad.
That's actually bad. The blue Honden is not a May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
have
you
to.
can't run the
would-
blue Honden.
Well, you run it in with Battle of Wits deck. It's a secondary.
Yeah, so all you have to
it's
do
a
is
1,000-card deck.
you run the white epic spell, 20 Hondens, and then,
Can somebody
200.
please make a 1,000-card Honden Epic Battle of Wits commander deck, please? Send the list to Matthew Wiggins at loadingreadyrun.org.
That's not a real email.
No, it's not.
Yet.
I love the idea though of the way the enduring ideal, like that you could very easily, like at least most of the other ones, like will win you the game.
Yeah.
Whereas enduring ideal, you could easily get into a situation where you have like, I have 1 billion enchantments, but I can't cast any creatures to hurt you.
Well,
with.
the
Well-
idea being that you play this after you've set up your board state, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Right, but if he just like he takes out the one guy that you had that was like your plan,
Yeah.
yeah.
and now you're
that
just
sucks.
like, well,
That's just
I
weak
have.
plan.
That means
all
your
this
opponent sucks,
stuff.
though.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, I think if you're resolving Enduring Ideal, you're planning not to die to
we
Doomblade.
should start our show.
Anyway.
What we're actually going to talk about today is we're going to look back at 2016.
2016.
I have a list
Ooh.
of everything that was released in 2016. Cam and I talked about it very briefly before we started, so I'm going to get Graham to try to accurately and chronologically name every product that Wizards released this year.
Oh boy.
And I'll say this, and we'll get into it after the Crack-a-Pack. I would say one of the most common complaints or criticisms of Magic this year was Wizards released too much stuff. After making this list, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Chill your boots, Wizards.
Yeah, just
Holy crap.
gear down, big rig.
There's so much stuff, but we'll talk
But
about
it wasn't all
soon.
for the same players.
It wasn't all for the same players, but okay, we'll get into
Yeah,
it later.
yeah,
'Cause I have opinions. and
Real quick
thoughts.
though,
Yeah.
if you wanted to buy some of those things,
Yeah.
you could go to cardkingdom.com.
Right.
/LRR. You
Before
sure
we get to the
could.
Crack-a-Pack, Tap Concede and our Magic streams are brought. Every time I do that, actually, I'm in here and I point over it
Because that's where
through
the
the wall.
Yeah, that's where
you
the
have
stream
no
off.
frame of reference for where that is.
I mean, I
Yeah,
think,
but now
I
you know
think-
how our
I
office
think
is
the
arranged,
viewers,
so-
I think if the viewers watch enough of our stuff, they know that Studio A and B share a wall.
Yeah.
Because often I'll be like, even yesterday, I was like, hey, it's just me right now because Graham and Cameron are recording feed dump right over there, and I would point through the wall, and it's just I think people have a good idea of actually how this office is laid out now,
think so.
just by watching and listening to us.
the point being,
We also did a full floor plan.
we did, yes.
True.
The point being, cardkingdom.com, they sponsor this show, and we let them do that because we think they're great. They're where we legitimately go to get our singles when we're buying online. They have competitive prices and astounding customer service, and it's routine. This happened yesterday on the stream. Someone in chat will be like, I know you said their shipping was fast, but holy crap. And it's like, I thought you were just saying that, but you're actually right.
Yeah, like
So,
it's
Yeah.
noon right now. If it wasn't the
If it wasn't
Friday,
Christmas?
if it wasn't the Friday before Christmas, if it was just your average Friday, and I ordered something at noon on Card Kingdom, I would not be at all surprised to see it shipped out later today.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's just crazy.
So thanks to Card Kingdom, and if you go to cardkingdom.com/LRR, that helps us out because it lets them know that we sent you, and we really appreciate it. Additionally, this show and all of our shows is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. So
It's
please
true.
check that out. Now, this Crack-a-Pack, we're not going to roll the dice because this is a
Very legit looking.
Everyone knows this expansion.
Yeah.
It's the Loading Ready Run expansion. You may have seen this in the October mail time, I think. Maybe the November one. I actually can't remember. The November sort of is a massive blur. But I have no idea what. I assume Magic cards, but I
Okay,
have
so-
no idea what's in this.
What's the chances? I'm gonna say
Just 15 bump in the night.
there's a 5% chance that those are real Magic cards. I bet you they are not real Magic cards.
Oh, interesting.
That's my prediction.
All right. Do you
Cam?
have any predictions?
Any predictions?
I'm going to say there is a 0% chance that these are real Magic cards.
All right.
I will say the package incredibly well done.
It's real
Yeah,
nice.
no, yeah, it's
shiny
very
and
pretty.
everything.
They've painstakingly recreated the Magic logo up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was done by hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping for the reverse troll, and it's just a regular pack of Magic cards that they repackage.
I'm kind
Yeah.
of hoping my hope is it's like 15 Tarmogoyfs.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Loading Ready
Yeah,
Run.
it's Liliana of the Veil. Just
Ooh, I see
Oh.
real cards.
Well,
Oh, wow.
one real card
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm already sensing a theme possibly.
Yeah.
But hey, this means our card recognizer will actually work.
Yeah, this is, well, I mean, Paul needs
guess
to know
if-
the set, though.
Yeah.
This is from Shadows of Innistrad. Or was it Eldritch Moon?
That's Shadow.
Shadows.
Shadows. It's Triskaidekaphobia.
Hey,
Hey.
that's our preview card.
Yeah.
This is, One of my favorite preview cards.
Marshall and I
Yeah.
bonded over this card because I had to tweet that I lost a game to Triskaidekaphobia when my opponent was at 1.
Yep.
I do love this card, though.
And he was like, I feel you, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I think we have to start a support group now. Right? Like, oh, no, it was,
It was bad feels.
I have a hard time talking about it even now.
My favorite part was when Matt tweeted about discovering all the number 13s in it.
Yeah.
And we were like,
This is
dude, watch our video.
a
It's
month.
our
It's like
spoiler.
a month after our spoiler video, maybe longer, and he's like, "Check out all the there's 13 stones and 13 rivets on the barrels, and dude, do you even
dude.
watch our stuff anymore? Like,
Yeah.
no, you don't."
All right, so the next card is going to tell me whether or not this is just a pack of Triskaidekaphobia.
Yeah. Or
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Next
oh,
up.
no. Oh, no.
Oh,
2,
no.
3,
Oh, dear.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
ooh,
And a promo foil.
Ooh.
13
13.
Yeah.
13 Triskaidekaphobias.
and a foil. Is it pack foil or promo foil?
Promo foil.
Nice
Yeah, it's from the
pre-release.
pre-release on April 2nd and or 3rd.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I like, the
I forgot
broken...
to write your name on the package, but it's in the mail time.
Go watch that.
Thank you for the booster.
I kind of like the idea, like that they're like just for flavor reasons. They have like as a special line on Triskaidekaphobia, like you may play exactly 13 of this card in your
Yeah.
deck.
Huh.
It's like you can play 1 to 4
Yeah.
or 13
Ooh,
Yeah.
that would have been sweet, actually. That would have been super.
because nobody would have wanted to play 13, but just
Yeah.
it's like how the 100-handed one can block 99 extra guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like how you can run any number of relentless rats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We keep saying we've done it like 4 times.
Ravenous?
Ravenous
Oh,
rats.
where you say rabbit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Surge was on,
There's a
I
lot
was-
of rats, okay?
when Surge was on, I was like, ravenous rats? And he's like, yeah, ravenous rats. And the comments was like,
like-
how do you keep messing this up?
We should just have a big sign right there.
Look,
It's ravenous rats.
No, it's
No, it's
relentless.
relentless rats, James.
I'm going to be straight with you guys. We don't actually speak English.
Or play Magic.
Yeah, this is actually, we come to you live every week from the Ukraine. We don't, we just learned the script phonetically,
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a teleprompter.
including this line.
yeah.
And this line,
This was written all in advance.
which is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, like our ability to jam like this.
That 6 minutes at the beginning there,
Yeah.
you thought that was ad-libbed.
no,
Nope.
scripted. We're just
right
very
there.
natural actors.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, let's talk about Magic 2016.
Oh, boy.
By which I mean all the things that came out in 2016. So here's how I'm going to suggest we take on this topic of discussion.
Okay.
First off, I'm going to test Graham and
Okay.
see if he can name every Magic product released in chronological
I'm
order.
so boned.
Then we're going to actually talk about the products, and then I think we'll sort of talk about our overall feelings of 2016 and general thoughts about Magic and not set specific, and then maybe a couple things about what we're looking forward to in 2017.
Yeah.
Because we know some stuff. We know the first 6 months, right? Because
Yeah.
we made the video.
We did that video,
so
yeah.
we should know what's going on. So Graham,
Okay. I think
can you name? I'm not even going to tell you how many products there were.
I could do draftable sets, but I
Well, that's easy.
There's no way I'm gonna be able to get the dual decks for when they came out because I just don't pay attention to the dual decks.
All right.
So
So let's kick us off. What was the very first product released in 2016?
I'm hoping it was Oath of the Gatewatch.
You are correct. On January
Okay.
16th,
Good.
we released Oath of the Gatewatch.
Yeah.
Then,
We released it.
yeah, we released it, us personally. Then, what
gave
came out
birth to
after Oath of the Gatewatch?
Man. I know the next set,
Uh-huh.
but I don't.
There was something between. What was the next set?
No, so the next set was Eldritch Moon.
Incorrect.
Oh crap! Right. Eternal Masters.
Incorrect. You're gonna kick yourself.
Sorry, Shadows of Innistrad.
Correct.
Sorry.
You mixed
Yeah.
us up.
I got those conflated.
Yeah.
My bad.
April 2nd was Shadows over Innistrad.
Okay, so there was what was
there
between?
was one thing at the end of February between Oath and Shadows. And I'll give you a hint.
Was it a dual deck?
It was a dual deck.
It had a really swank-looking reprint of a pretty decent card.
Say what card it was.
Geist of St. Traft.
Yeah.
Right. Divine versus Demonic?
Nope.
Nope.
But close.
Yeah.
Spirits versus demons? Angels versus no.
No.
What the hell?
You're looking for homonyms of those words, basically.
Yeah.
Here's the sweet art, if that
Yeah.
helps.
Ghosts
Which I'm sure it doesn't.
and not ghosts.
Ghost Nugget. Incorrect. It was Blessed versus Cursed.
Oh, Blessed versus Cursed. Okay, yeah.
So that was February 26th.
All right.
So then
Shadows of Innistrad.
Then Shadows. Then
Okay, then there's this gulf where between Shadows and Eldritch Moon.
yep.
Did Eternal Masters and Conspiracy come out during that period of time?
No, but one of them.
Okay, so Eternal Masters was next.
Correct. June 10th saw the release of Eternal Masters.
And then,
Then it was
set-wise was Eldritch Moon.
and release-wise it was Eldritch Moon.
Oh, okay. Conspiracy was after Eldritch Moon.
Yes, but not next.
No, because there was another dual deck?
Incorrect.
Oh, wait, From the Vault?
Correct.
And it was From the Vault lore.
Correct. August 21st saw the release of From the Vault lore.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Yeah.
what came out after From the Vault lore? You've already named the product.
So then it was Conspiracy?
Then it was Conspiracy 5 days later.
Oh, yeah, right.
Which is probably one of the reasons why a lot of people don't even realize From the Vault lore was released.
Yeah.
Because there was no spoiler season from the Vault lore. They were just like, here are the 15 cards. And then 5 days later, Conspiracy's out.
Yeah. Have we mentioned Berserk's getting a reprint?
Which is a little awkward.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so From the Vault lore was August 21st. Conspiracy Take the Crown was August 26th. And then what came next?
I want to say the Planechase Anthology?
Incorrect.
Damn it. Is it another
From the
dual
Vault
deck?
had GJ in it.
It was.
Damn it, what's this dual deck?
Specific characters, I'll give you that hint.
Yeah, I know. It was, is one of them in the Gatewatch?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, they're not both in the Gatewatch?
No.
Okay. God.
I'll give you a hint. One of them was originally not printed as a Planeswalker.
So... Bolus?
No.
No, because we had a Jenny versus Bolus.
Yeah.
I still don't know how Johnny made it home to his kids after that one.
Yeah, right?
You're 4 mana, dude. Bolus is 7.
I don't remember this at all.
Nissa versus...
Oh, crap. Nissa versus... The Eldrazi?
No,
Obnixilis.
Obnixilis,
Yeah.
right.
All right.
Right.
What
Oh, of
key-
course, because Obnixilis was originally Obnixilis the Fallen.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And then after that dual deck was...
Then Planechase Anthology?
Nope. God, that art's sweet.
Yeah.
It can't be Kaladesh yet already, can it?
It was, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Kaladesh already.
Yeah, so
Oh,
September
wow.
2nd was the dual deck.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Kaladesh came out way sooner than I thought it was.
And then September 24th was Kaladesh.
Okay.
So we are up to 9 product releases so far in 2016. I will give you the answer. There are 2 left.
Okay, well, then it's the Planechase Anthology.
Incorrect.
And what? Hang on. Commander came out before the Planechase Anthology?
According to the Wikipedia article I read, yes.
Really?
If this is incorrect, I apologize. But I was just looking at the the general MTG sets.
No, I guess you're right.
On
I was
thing.
just positive.
November 11th, which
Yeah.
was like the day before
Desert Bus. No
started.
wonder I don't remember anything.
Desert Bus started. Commander 2016 came out.
Oh, I know what. Because we didn't do Day of Commander
No.
game this year on AFK.
Correct.
Because of Desert Bus.
Because of Desert Bus.
But I'm willing to bet that Planechase came out between Commander and when we played Commander.
Yeah, November
Okay.
25th
Yeah.
is Planechase Anthology and the final release of 2016. 11 products were released in 2016,
It's a lot of products.
which is a lot of stuff. So
They're not all for the same people.
it's true, but it doesn't. We can talk about that in a bit. 'Cause,
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back. Oath of the Gatewatch. Do we remember much about Oath?
I remember it was a really grindy format.
Yeah.
Like with
Yep.
cohort was interesting, and Zeta's Commando, I remember I wanted to draft a deck with like 8 of them,
Yeah.
but you never saw 8 of them
No, you
because
could
everyone
not.
recognized that card was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, as being like, okay, if I tell you 2/1 First Strike Goblin, what kind of deck do you think that goes into?
That seems like a pretty aggressive deck.
Yeah, no, yeah, it turns out Zeta's Commando was the sweetest control card ever printed.
Yeah, that the cohort deck was a lot of fun. I really liked the blue-black in draft. The blue-black life gain.
Or the white-black.
Sorry, white-black.
Yeah.
Life gain.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Undo
drain.
Cleric and Vampire Envoy.
Yeah, and yeah, specifically those ones because you would tap the cleric, tap the envoy, you gain 3 life, and then what was the card when you gained life? You
Drained.
Drained life?
It was the gold one.
Yeah, shoot. Wasn't
Oh,
it 2 white black?
Yeah,
it was a 2/4 flying vampire.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was called.
yeah.
I don't know
Sucks,
either.
but we're close enough.
yeah,
But yeah, if you wanted to kill your opponent without ever attacking
Yeah.
and just kind of like passing the turn and then
Yep.
on their end step draining them for a bunch, Oath of the Gatewatch is the set for you. Because you could also do that with Eldrazi, with Kozilek's, not Shrieker,
oh,
the guy that had the activated ability.
Cliffhaven.
Cliffhaven, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Cliffhaven Vampire.
yeah. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Now, you would only get. It's not a 1-to-1.
No, it's
the
if,
number of
if
life
you gain
gain.
1 or 3, it doesn't matter. They
Yeah.
still lose 1.
But if you have the envoy cleric or the undo cleric and the vampire envoy, that's 2 distinct instances of life gain.
Okay, yeah.
If you're playing on Magic Online, yield to your triggers.
Yep. Because there was the Eldrazi uncommon in black that had the activated ability for 1 and a colorless, drain life. Right, drain 1 life.
Oh man, yeah, that thing was nuts.
Yeah.
I had that in my deck at the pre-release. I went 5-0 at that
Yeah,
pre-release.
yeah, because that card just killed people.
Displacer.
Yeah,
Eldrazi Displacer, I think it was.
yeah, because then you could also have the translator.
Oh
Wait.
yeah.
Which
To
which
just-
Eldrazi are you thinking? The Displacer is
No.
the bounce.
Oh, it's the
Yeah,
bounce one.
I think I want Chandler. Kozilek's Chandler.
No, Channeler was the big. That was the Eldrazi.
Yeah, that was a tap for 2.
Oh,
Right.
It was a 2/3 for 3. And it had an activated ability of 1 and a colorless, drain 1. And it got out of hand.
yeah, because
yeah,
it didn't tap it.
Yeah.
Right.
So you could do it a bunch. And so, yeah, if you had a bunch of colorless mana, and like you said, the Kozilek's Translator, which you can activate once per turn, including
Yep.
your opponent's turn, you could really.
Yeah, suddenly, yeah, the life gain was, or the drain was real.
Man, what the hell was this card called? There's been so many Magic cards.
Yeah, no, see,
There
this is,
sure
yeah,
have.
like this was a sweet deck that I love to play.
Yeah.
Right? Like the blue-black Eldrazi deck.
It was 2 and a black, right? To cast?
I think so, yeah.
Like I had to void, but I think it was 2 and a black.
But, like,
Depleter.
There it is.
Essence
Depleter.
Depleter.
Essence- yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
the blue-black Eldrazi deck was one of my favorite decks to play, right? Like you would get the blinding drones
Yep.
to like tap down your opponent's team, and then you could like do all this weird kind of draining thing, and then maybe you picked up a Mind Melter, which was a sweet card that never did anything, but you felt
'Cause they
really
don't-
good when you picked one up.
They don't
And
print tappers
Yeah.
as good as or as mana efficient as Blinding Drone
Yeah.
anymore. The downside to Blinding Drone was that it cost colorless, and if you're in this deck, you don't care.
Yeah.
So you're just like, yeah, I tap all your stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, and then you would also play like maybe you picked up like an Ulamog's the counter guy from Battle for Zendikar.
Yep.
And it was like this sweet kind of like tempo control deck where you got to play all these cards. And I love that. And I was like completely burned out on new products, right? As this relentless wave of new Magic cards just kind of like came on to us.
All right. So that was Oath,
Yeah, which was sweet.
which was sweet. I actually, I mean, to be honest, it's probably my least favorite in terms of draft formats of the year.
Yes, and it wasn't bad.
And it wasn't bad. It was
Right.
just my least favorite.
yeah.
Nullifier. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Did anybody touch Blessed versus Cursed?
No.
I think I own it. I think it's.
I think I have one too.
I think I have a copy of it in my house, but I have a bunch of copies of Duel decks that just sort of sit in my shelf and look pretty.
The dual decks
I
are
don't play
sweet,
them.
and I'm glad that they exist because I think they're a cool product for some people. I don't go out of my way for them. I like the alt art
Yep.
a lot of the time, but yeah, I don't. Actually, when was the last one I played? There was one that we played Didn't you and I play
I
like
remember you
Soren versus
cracking
Tybalt?
Soren versus Tybalt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And they
remember
were
playing
actually
against
pretty fun
those.
decks to play against.
Yeah,
one
you got
another.
to play
I
Lightning
remember
in that one.
We have it's just off camera here, but we have the Duel deck anthology.
Yeah.
And there was an original. We originally talked about actually like doing a big stream with them.
Yeah.
And playing all the decks, but actually like you play the decks how they're meant to be played, but then it's single elimination. So now decks start to cross
Yeah.
over, and that would probably get out of hand because the decks are generally speaking designed to be
Balanced
fairly
against each
balanced, but to be honest,
be interesting,
there's
yeah.
always generally one deck that kind of outperforms the other. I'm not sure
And
if that's gotten
I think
better
the
in the
Goblin
last
deck
year.
might just be bonkers in that
Yeah,
lineup.
It's true. All right, April, we saw Shadows over Innistrad, the return to Innistrad.
Yeah.
The return
cool.
to arguably universally thought as of the best draft format that Wizards have ever made, which
Yeah.
is the original Innistrad, triple Innistrad. Shadows was not that good, but it was still really good.
Yeah, I thought it was
and
an excellent
the
draft
flavor
set.
was incredible. Like I will say that they knocked the flavor out of the park with Shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe it didn't live up to its predecessor, but
that's fine.
that's really
what?
hard to do.
Having gone back and played a lot of Innistrad, because a lot of people were doing like flashback drafts, Innistrad was a lot more varied. Like the quality was more uneven than Shadows over Innistrad. Like, Innistrad had both the Burning Vengeance deck and the Spider Spawning deck, which were unspeakably sweet.
Yeah.
A lot of the werewolves weren't terribly interesting, because I think they played them very conservatively when they first developed them.
Yep.
So you had a lot of like efficiently priced guys who flipped into big dorks.
Yeah.
Or big donkeys.
Yeah.
Right? And that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wasn't exciting. And I thought they did a lot more interesting things with flip cards and Shadows over Innistrad. And also Delirium and Madness were awesome mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
Like-
like to see. I was like, whatever. I was like, okay on Delirium, but I love to see Madness come back.
Yeah.
Especially the interactions. Like my favorite archetype is just like black red. Get the hell in there.
Yeah.
And the black red get the hell in their deck in Shadows was primo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, there was like, my favorite kind of draft decks are the blue X do nothing decks.
Right.
And I got two of those
Yeah.
here.
What
with
were they?
there was the blue-green Investigate deck
Oh,
that
yeah.
milled with
was
with
great.
Scholar. Not with Scholar. Yes, with it had
Fleeting Memories.
It had fleeting memories, but you could also get the Scholar that just milled on upkeep if you had Delirium.
Yep.
What, Manic Scribe?
Yeah, Manic Scribe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I never saw that card work.
Oh, honey, it was good when it worked.
All right.
She put in work.
3% of the time.
You got Delirium up and running with two of those things. Game ended quickly.
Sure.
Fair enough.
But
the
like drawing cards,
ongoing
and milling-
investigation
yeah,
and
fleeting memories.
no, the other one. Ulvenwald Mysteries.
Yes, yeah.
Those were some pretty great clue based.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blue green clues deck was
Was super sweet.
really cool.
Yeah, I really like that deck too.
And then like you also played like these weird fog effects, like the -4/-0 thing. Investigate, Jace's Scrutiny. I
Yep.
think that actually worked.
Yeah.
They printed one of those that actually worked, and
Yeah.
kudos
And I mean,
to them.
Hey man, Wargarble worked.
Graph Mole kept you in the game.
Yep. Yeah.
Also,
Graph Mole,
Graph Mole's
right.
just a 2/4 for 3, which is
Yeah.
actually, it's like, that's kind of really, really good anyway.
Yeah.
But the fact that you also gain 3 life whenever you crack a clue,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty good. And then what was the other blue?
It was blue black, do nothing.
Yeah.
With Call the Bloodlines and
yeah.
like it just had so many cool
Man,
cards.
Call the Bloodline was really interesting because it's one of those cards. Okay, it is absolutely not as good as Pack Rat, but it was one of those cards where when you have Call the Bloodline in 2 land in your opening hand, you're just like, okay,
Yep. We're on the Call the Bloodline plan.
we're playing this game of Magic
Yeah.
now, and you just play Call the Bloodline and pitch all your cards to Call the Bloodline
Yeah.
and overwhelm the board with 1/1 life.
But it was so cheap
Yeah.
to activate, and you could just, like, because of Madness, you could generate value off it. It was like better than Pack Rat
Oh, yeah.
because you weren't just throwing away good cards to Pack Rat.
No,
because
on turn
rem-
4 you're casting. On turn 4 you're paying 4 mana to discard and cast for Madness a Twins of Mauer estate.
Yeah.
Or a Incorrigible Youths.
Yeah.
Oh yes, The youths.
Yeah, like I was playing like the blue cards, like the counter spell at 4. Like having cancel at 4 sucks, but playing it into Call the Bloodline for 5 and getting a 1/1.
Yeah.
Oh, that felt good when you countered something at 5 and we're already basically dead and out of the game.
Yeah.
It still felt you felt proud of yourself for having played conservatively and held back and not spent your resources and not countering their 3-drop. So you could counter their 5-drop.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that was primo magic right there.
And I really like the story.
Yeah.
I thought that, like, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I really dug changing the sort of the very stereotypical gothic horror of Innistrad into
Like the cosmic horror.
the cosmic horror
Yeah.
of having things be taken over by Emrakul, and that joke that we made that when the Eldrazi showed up on Zendikar, everyone started losing their minds, and when the Eldrazi showed up on Innistrad, people were like, "Well, get me my bigger axe."
Yeah.
You know, because the people on Innistrad have seen shit.
Yeah. And I was very skeptical of seeing Emrakul, but
So was I.
Wizards
I
stuck
think-
the landing.
I think a lot of the hesitation came before, and this is, any community
Yeah.
is going to do this. It's not just Magic. They'll react to something before they have a chance to see what they're doing, and people just sort of assumed, okay, Eldrazi are going to take over Innistrad. Woo! Now we get another set with basically Eldrazi, and then when Eldritch Moon actually came out, and we started to see the effects of the real effects of the Eldrazi, and it wasn't just Oath of the Gatewatch again with a bunch of devoid, colorless
Emrakul's
Eldrazi's.
drone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people were just like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty sweet. People were just afraid that we would just have another Eldrazi set, and that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So I guess take that into consideration in 2017 and just chill the hell out before the set comes out.
A call for sanity by James Turner.
Yeah, right there.
It will fall on deaf ears, but got him on your side.
Yeah.
Speaking of Oath of the Gatewatch and all the Eldrazi, by the way, obviously everything after that Pro Tour sucked, or Pro Tour or GP, I can't remember, but the Eldrazi deck made of largely draft trash, taking down a pro
Modern
level
Pro
event
Tour. Yeah.
was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Yes, it meant that deck dominated the format afterwards, and they had to make bans and stuff, and the Eldrazi winter or whatever people were calling it. Sure, that was bad. But seeing this
Yeah, like a bunch of
this-
lost drafters stumble into the modern main event,
Yeah.
slot in 4 Eye of Ugin
Yeah.
and 4 Eldrazi Temple and be like, shuffle it up.
Yeah, what you got?
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, let's rumble.
That was super entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Everyone just be like, "Holy crap!
Yeah.
Look what just happened." That was
Yeah.
that was
super
neat.
sweet. All right, we will return to Innistrad in a moment. First off, let's talk about Eternal Masters.
I didn't get
Came
to
out
draft this
in-
nearly as much
in
as I wanted
June.
to.
Yeah, I drafted it maybe 2 or 3 times in paper.
Yeah, I think I did like 3 or 4 of these.
We actually have, we do have 1 box left actually in the office.
Yeah.
I actually have 1 at home too, so we can always call that in. But we have 1 box in the office, so at some point next year we'll be probably doing a Eternal Masters draft. Excuse me, on AFK. In the meantime, I drafted it like 2 or 3 times in paper and a little bit online, but not as much as I think I did with like Modern Masters 1 and 2. I don't know. Eternal Masters was kind of fun. I never really got into it.
Yeah, it didn't have as much character as I was hoping for. It had a lot of sweet cards, but I never got to put together the deck that I really wanted to play, which was the Future Sight deck and the top,
Right.
with Sensei's Divining Top, because
Right.
that would have been rad to have in draft, but of course those are 2, Sensei's Top I think was a mythic,
Yeah.
and Future Sight was a rare, and you were never going to have those 2 together, but I wanted to. The
Yeah, it's tricky,
possibility
like-
existed.
The Masters series, and
Or no, was it rare?
We're
Sorry.
going to see Modern Masters 2017 next year. I think they are important projects. I think they need to exist. I think they need to be printed at a higher. I think they need to print more of them.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be cheaper to get into it.
Yeah.
Sell this.
Because the draft was like Modern Masters, both sets of Modern Masters. You can compare the quality between them if you want, but I found both sets of Modern Masters a super fun draft.
Yeah.
Eternal Masters was not as good.
Yeah.
But was still fun to draft.
Yeah.
because you're just like, what is? It was like a cube, really.
Yeah, well, I mean that's kind of how they are designed for
Yeah.
sure. But I mean they are printed to get these theoretical cards that are needed for the Eternal formats, out into the community. And I think if you want to do that, you just need to, make it a little bit cheaper.
Because I basically only ever see Future Sight on Magic Online when someone's streaming Cube. It took me an embarrassingly long time to notice the giant skulls.
Yeah.
They're so obvious when you
Yeah.
see the card, but for some reason, just watching on a stream, they're just sort of like blue haze behind this tree.
I really want to play this card in Highlander, and this card is like $2 or $3 in paper, so it's totally achievable. The problem that if you play blue in Highlander, you also need cards like Time Walk and
Yeah.
Ancestral.
Yeah.
All right, so Eternal Masters, thumbs up
Sure.
from all of us.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us had.
It was a thumbs up. I guess
enough
not the
experience
most
with it.
I guess not the most enthusiastic thumbs up, but it was a thing. Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, of
thumbs
the
up.
3 Master Series, it ranks 3rd.
Yeah.
I mean, and they go in
And
order of release for me.
That was all going to be. I think Eternal Masters was going to be the hardest one to balance
Yep.
and
Yeah.
make work. And I played Blue White Skies. I think in most decks. Where
Yeah, I know. I definitely drafted Blue White Skies a few times. All right, July 16th saw the release of Eldritch Moon.
Yeah. Rad set.
I really liked the Innistrad Eldrazi.
Yeah.
Stuff like It That Rides as One.
The meld mechanic was
Yeah. So
great.
I guess what
Yeah.
thoughts on Meld? A few months out now.
I mean, I think it was cool. It was flashy. I wish there'd been more, but there couldn't really be because already it was a small set and
This took up 6 cards.
3 meld cards is already taking up 6 cards, and so
Yeah.
you can't really
Yeah.
do many more than that. I have never gotten to assemble Handweir the Writhing Township.
No, I
Nope.
think the only Meld card I ever assembled was
Was the rats?
Yeah.
the rats and the into the menace creature.
yeah.
whatever it was
Which
called.
was
But-
a control finisher.
yeah, which was a
right?
great card, but never got to make. The,
Yeah, I
the
obviously never
township.
made Brazella, but I also never made the Township, which is
But
is a shame.
I did like the mechanic. I thought it was kind of neat. Maybe a tad bit clunky, but
Yeah.
I don't really know how else you're supposed to do this. I know just in terms of new players, this confused a lot of people.
Well, yeah.
I remember actually at Desert Bus, the dock crew of the Desert Bus dock, the 2 guys. So there's Russ and then his 2 guys who were actually filming, the sound guy and the camera guy, and they got heavy into Magic
Nice.
while they were here. Which was hilarious, and every day I would come in the morning.
Because the volunteers were running a sealed league.
Yeah, so
Right.
there was a sealed league, but so
I should have entered that.
I went to YJ with the guys like 2 days before Desert Bus, just because we were recording, filming them, and all that jazz, and I sat down and played some Magic with Russ. And the other guys who had never played before got like, oh, okay, I want to get into this, and they bought some decks. And then apparently they just kept going back to YJ throughout the whole run, buying more cards.
I had no idea. That's
and
so cool.
fighting,
Yeah,
and they were
oh.
basically just fighting each other. And I remember them coming in one day, and one of the guys being like, "What's up with this card? Like, is this a weird misprint? Like,
Oh, because the back.
Right.
because of
yeah.
the back was just like," and it's just like, yeah, okay, I understand that would be kind of weird to see if
Yeah,
you
because
were a
the
brand new
rules
player.
text was only on.
Yeah,
the
exactly. And
one-
he was
one half
talking
the
about
card.
the top half of the card
Yeah.
with the art. So he's like,
Yeah.
what? And even like, I mean, it's there on the front of the card, but it's still a little confusing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's still a little bit weird.
Right, because if you have the battlements, it's the township that has the
the militia
the
or-
meld
yeah.
the meld clause.
Yeah.
Or not the township, the Handweir
militia?
Garrison.
Yeah, Henry
whatever,
Garrison. Yeah, Garrison.
Has the
Yeah.
actual. So if all you have is the
battlements.
battlements, you just have this card.
That's
Oh, okay.
Oh, the garrison. Sorry. Yeah. Well, so it says melds with Handweir battlements, but it's
But
like
that doesn't mean.
what does that
Yeah.
mean?
That doesn't actually mean anything to a new
That
player.
said, I'm
so
like it's
a little awkward,
It's
but
weird, and it's like it's sort of a like the meld mechanic is like it's weird. It's kind of like breaking almost like the fourth wall of the game. You know, it's using like the physicality of the
Yeah.
of the card itself as part of a mechanic, the same way that the double face cards did. But I'm just glad that they keep doing weird experiments.
Yeah,
I was just
absolutely,
gonna say, I
absolutely.
like the fact that R&D has the I guess, the ability to
What a year for stuff, by the way.
to make these kind of calls.
Because Oath finally clarified colorless mana.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, yeah, colorless mana, meld, and energy. And we'll
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
energy in a bit when we talk about Kaladesh. But those were 3 really big additions to the game
Yeah.
that, that's a big deal. And it's
Yeah.
cool that they are able, they're
they're
able to
totally
make
willing to make these
take
experiments.
and take
Yeah.
these chances, yeah. All right, from the Vault lore.
It's actually, I was just actually doing a double check here, and I believe, so it's worthwhile to note that the card that has the description of what meld means is always the card with the art on the back, by the way.
Okay.
Which is
Interesting.
interesting. It's always the top half.
Yeah.
Huh.
So maybe that helps explain it a little bit
I mean,
more.
yeah, I assume
Yeah.
they did that
Yeah.
on purpose, but it's still,
I
again,
mean, it's still, you end up with a card with just like the bottom half of a card on
Yeah.
it, which is weird. But
Yeah.
all right, so after Eldritch Moon, August 21st, we saw From the Vault lore.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's because Conspiracy came out less than a week later, or
I think it's-
probably more so because it's lore and they're cards that are relevant for story reasons and not necessarily relevant for gameplay reasons. This felt like the least interesting From the Vault they've ever done.
yeah, boring cards like this one.
Yeah.
Now, granted,
Well,
there's
yeah.
some good cards in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
What was the list?
I think a lot of it has to do. I mean,
I mean, I can go through it. But
Sure.
what do we got? Beseech the Queen.
Yeah, like
Which is like a $2 playable.
sure.
We have Cabal Ritual,
Okay.
Yeah.
Conflux.
Yeah, like see,
Right.
Conflux is a super important card for that story, but 3 and the full Wooburg to get to tutor for 5 cards. It's not like this. What?
You don't even get to cast them, yeah.
Dark
Oh,
Depths.
Dark Depths, yeah.
Yeah.
Great story card.
Yeah.
certainly relevant in Highlander, as we found
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you playing Primetime? Play
Glissa.
Dark Depths.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, good card. The
Hellbolt,
Hellbolt.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Again, incredibly important.
oh yeah,
Memnarch.
Memnarch. Like they're not. The thing is, like they're not bad cards,
No.
but they're not like, they're not like, oh yeah, you got to have one of these.
Momir
Yeah.
Vig.
Momir.
Yeah. Near, I mean, what is
really?
it?
Wow,
Near death
okay.
experience, 2 white, white, white at the beginning of your upkeep. Oh, okay, sure. If you have exactly 1 life, you win the game. All right. Obliterate.
Yeah.
Can't be countered. Destroy all artifacts, creatures, and lands. They can't be regenerated. Wow.
Sure.
But not planeswalkers.
Cost 8, okay.
Or enchantment.
Phyrexian Processor. Yeah, so I mean, I think the problem was fairly unexciting cards for the enfranchised player, with the exception of a few, GTA included. The fact that it was wedged.
Unmask.
Ooh, unmasked.
What's the story here?
I assume this is from Weatherlight Saga.
It's from Mercadian Masks, in
Oh.
fact, as you might guess.
All right.
Unmasked, yeah.
Huh.
I think just a combination of that
know why
and the
that's
fact that it
relevant.
was wedged between Eldritch Moon, which the ramp up and just noise for that set
Yeah.
was at an all-time high. And then it was like about a month later you had From the Vault lore, but during that time we were well into Conspiracy Take the Crown spoilers, and we'll talk about that in a second. Because From the Vault lore didn't actually have a proper like spoiler season like you normally would, where you sort of dish out your 15 cards over a couple days.
Yeah.
Like they normally do. They just were just like, here's all 15 cards that are in it. It comes out, the 21st. Go nuts. And I think a lot of people, it just kind of got lost in the noise.
Definitely.
Of being sandwiched in between Eldritch Moon and Conspiracy Take the Crown, which again, arguably two of the biggest sort of
and-
loudest sets when it comes to the communities.
And honestly, that might have been intentional.
It's true. It's possible.
Because like they might have known that it was a pretty unexciting From the Vault and been like, let's just get it out there.
So, I mean, From the Vault lore, it's a thing. If you own it, cool. I hope you enjoy it. But I guess let's talk about Conspiracy. Take the Crown.
Oh.
So-
That came out. What's that?
So, by the way, sorry, I was just looking at the comments for Unmasked.
Unmask.
So the story part that this is revealing, or that this is talking about, is talking about Volrath
Okay.
being. This is actually the opposite, apparently, of what happened. It's that Volrath is disguised as this lady, and then is revealed as Volrath. So if you remember, Volrath looks like that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So you can kind of see the two parts of the mask.
Oh, okay.
It's not that
Oh,
great a
okay.
representation, but
Sure.
also apparently it's the opposite of what actually like. It looks like
Volrath is being
being
unmasked
revealed-
as.
being revealed as this lady, but in fact apparently it was the other way around. I don't know.
All right.
Huh.
Anyways,
Okay.
Circadian masks.
yeah, whatever. Conspiracy, take the crown.
I didn't play enough of this.
I played.
I played like 3 games.
I think I played about 3 games. In fairness, one of them was in like the presidential suite at the Westin downtown Seattle a couple days before PAX.
That was awesome.
Which is pretty sweet. But
with like Nate and Sean from Walking the Plains.
yeah, couple other people from WotC. I know you don't listen, Ryan, but thank you.
Kenji?
Yeah, Kenji was there. Yeah. And so was. Who else was it? I can't remember now. That was a lot of fun.
There was like 10 people.
Yeah, it was a big draft. I really enjoyed it. We also did we did one on stream on AFK.
Yep.
And I think it went very well, which was exciting.
Yeah. Oh, that's where I killed a man with divination.
Yeah, that's
right.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
It wasn't it Surge?
No, it was Ian, I think.
Oh yeah, it was you and Ian at the end there, right?
And Alex, I think, was alive too.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, people really liked Conspiracy. Yeah. Again, I guess we didn't really have a whole lot
I
of
just like
experience.
making.
Party Bob just wanted to party.
Oh, Party
Yeah,
Bob.
Party Bob.
I can't believe that we wrote that as a joke, in an
Yeah.
episode of Friday Nights, and then
Kind of
Actually,
happened.
that's actually what happened.
Like it was
I
pack
assume-
one, pick one, I think.
And you were just like, well,
Yeah, well,
it hath been ordained.
yeah, exactly. It came down from on high.
Yeah.
I guess if a set isn't released on Magic Online, I don't play it as much.
Yeah.
If the only option is paper, I'm probably not going to play it often.
No.
Conspiracy.
I'm
has
glad
never
we do
been-
AFK, so we have
No,
an excuse to play these things.
Conspiracy has never been and will never be on Magic
Yeah,
Online.
multiplayer
I
does
mean,
not
not the current version of Magic
Yeah.
Online. That's for damn sure. I would love to see it in future. That'd be awesome.
What did you think about the actual crown?
Yeah, so the
monarch
mechanics,
Oh, yeah.
right? The Monarch mechanic. I think
Yeah.
I think it was super neat.
It really encouraged you to rumble in there.
Yeah,
like
which was
you
great.
could not tolerate somebody being a monarch for a couple of turns.
Yeah.
right.
I liked it as a replacement for like they had in previous
Dethrone.
they had the dethrone mechanic.
Yeah, which encouraged you to.
which was sort of the same idea, but
Yeah.
I liked actually making it a thing, like
Yeah.
making it both
Like
a
the hot
positive
potato.
and a
Yeah.
negative thing. I thought was a good way of doing it.
Do you recall a couple months ago there was a legacy GP that LSV was either watching or commentating on? I can't remember, but someone was playing a card in their legacy deck
Oh, that gave them
that
Monarch.
made them
Yeah.
the Monarch.
Nice.
And because you're allowed to.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
LSV
yeah.
was tweeting, "What is this? What does it do?" Because he
Never seen
he
it
just
before,
ignored
right?
conspiracy.
Yeah.
And because as the Monarch, you get to draw a card. You draw an extra
Yeah.
card on your end step.
Yeah.
And so, in a game of Legacy, it just means you get to draw an extra card every turn because your opponent's probably not attacking you. But the idea that someone is running a card that makes you the Monarch in Legacy, I found really funny. I didn't even know what card it was.
It's like people doing the like Will of the Council cards
Yeah.
in 2-player games.
Yeah.
Where you
Well, those
get.
are legit.
Yeah, I think the two ones are like the white name a card.
Council's Judgment.
Council's Judgment
Yeah.
and Coercive Portal.
Yep.
Both are Highlander cards. But yeah, Conspiracy 2 had a lot of, like, even vintage relevant cards. What's his name? The elf in Sultai colors and bug colors, where if you target him with a spell or ability, you get to draw a card. If he is targeted, his controller draws a card if you try to bolt him.
I don't remember the
I don't know
name.
what it's called, but that seems pretty
Racking my
sweet.
brain. But yeah, that was sweet. The Ghost Assassin,
Yeah, Kaya Ghost Assassin was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
because she kills ghosts, you see.
Yeah.
That's what
I just
she
like
does.
making jokes about how it was conspiracy, Watch the Throne.
Yeah.
All right, so
Very few Magic players appreciated the Jay-Z Kanye West reference.
Yeah.
all right, so
What was that one?
It was like, I forget what his name is. I would keep wanting to call him Toblerone.
What did he do?
If he is targeted by a spell or ability, draw a card. And then he had a bunch of other text on him that made him good. But he was blue, black, green for kind of like a 3/3 or a 2/2.
Was that the entire casting cost? Was blue, black,
Yeah.
green?
There we go. Leovold, Emissary of
Leovold,
Trest.
Emissary of Trest.
Like this.
Toblerone?
Okay, if you
Okay,
take what
wait.
I thought his name was, you can probably get a line directly on whatever my kind of brain
You were
malady is.
conflating him with Torbjorn from Overwatch.
I have no idea. I think I was the Trest part.
Okay.
Conflate. Like,
Each opponent can draw more than one card each turn.
yeah. Oh, yeah. This guy ruins Gush and
Oh,
Vintage.
whenever you or a permanent you control
Oh, yeah.
becomes the target of a spell or ability, an opponent
Oh, that's
controls, you
way
may draw a
better.
card.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That's good.
You're right.
Yeah.
I think I remember Alex talking about this guy being pretty damn good too.
Yeah, we're in Vintage where every draw is a live draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. All right.
All right, so Conspiracy, Take the Crown, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Dual Decks. I mean, we went over this before. We didn't play it. But
The
this
art
was
on Obnixilis is dope.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
art on the Obnixilis is dope.
Even the art on Nissa was pretty sweet.
I don't remember it.
I seem to recall hearing that this was one of those where one deck was kind of much better than the other, which kind of sucked.
Yeah, I heard it was the Ob deck that was weak, right?
Was weak, I
Yeah.
think.
I do like the dual decks
Not 100%
for
sure, but
alt art reprints of cool cards.
Yes.
Because that happened that happens in these dual decks.
Mm-hmm.
They just look pretty sweet. But yeah, I haven't.
yeah, we haven't played them. So,
all right, moving on.
That brings us to the final big set of the year, which is Kaladesh, which is
Yeah.
the current draft format.
I mentioned earlier I love black or blue green do nothing, and Kaladesh delivered.
I haven't drafted nearly enough of this either.
So Kaladesh has been enjoyable. I really wanted, I think, more from the vehicles, but
I think
they
it's
just
like
become-
anytime
oh, yeah, that looks
a new
super sick,
card
but-
Oh,
appears.
Raymond Swanland.
Yeah.
And I think anytime a new card type appears now, Wizards is playing it pretty conservatively with the design space.
Yep.
I like the idea. I just think, at least in draft, just vehicles just feel
Yeah.
a little lackluster. But
Well, I mean, like, yeah, and you can see where they've made balancing errors with like Renegade Freighter,
right.
which is just too good at 3 mana.
Yeah, Renegade
And-
Freighter's nuts.
And Smuggler's Copter, which, if you have never played with a Smuggler's Copter, I highly recommend you try playing with a Smuggler's Copter and feel the power you are wielding.
Yeah.
So-
Because there are several errors in the text on Smuggler's Copter, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but it draws it loots when it attacks or blocks, not when it does damage
Yeah.
to a player when it's supposed to draw you a card.
Exactly. And the number of
Yeah.
times online I have let this thing attack with. I did it last night
Yep.
during during our draft. The amount of times I've let this thing attack when I had a removal spell in hand to kill it,
Yeah.
because I'm just like, I'll just do it before. Oh
damage,
god,
yeah. No, and they drew
already-
the counter spell.
And by the time my thought has gone through, they've already
Yeah.
drawn and discarded their card, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
because
that-
like I got into this space where I'm like, oh, this is Luteril Core as a copter.
Yeah.
Okay, and I read the card and I'm like, this is way more powerful than Luteril Core Cam.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thanks, brain. It's Luteril Core, right?
Yeah.
And it's then on top of everything else, it's also 3/3.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's
not
a
just a
3/3
little
flyer.
1/1.
It's a
Oh, yeah.
3/3 flyer that takes
Yeah.
1 to crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
it's-
kidding.
it's-
You
it
have to
costs
give
2 to cast.
Yeah.
you have to give Luteril Core Sword of Fire and Ice before it's this good.
Yeah.
Get your Thraben Investigator. Throw them inside the copter.
Yeah.
They're like, what's this? Where am I? I'm not from this
I'm
plane.
terrified.
But yeah, I mean,
am I
this
flying?
vehicle aside, but I love energy. I
Yeah.
really like the energy mechanic.
Yeah.
I think they knocked it out of the park with the energy mechanic personally.
Yeah.
At least in draft. Again, I mean, most
Yeah.
of our opinions are going to be based on limited because that's the vast
There's-
majority of Magic we play. But
And remember,
really
remember
like it.
seeing the spoilers for Glassblower's Puzzle Knot and
Yep.
Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot,
and just
and looking at them and going like, "Pfft, well, this is garbage.
yeah,
right.
3 energy and 3 life, whatever.
And then those
please.
things are like, bam, gone. Like second, you get past one of those, like
I
second or
thought they
third. And
looked
you're,
okay.
well,
But yeah,
they're like you draft more than us, so maybe you thought, yeah, maybe you got the correct read. But I was like, oh, good, one of these, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
blue got a real good one. Thanks a lot.
yeah.
And I'm like, blue got a
Man,
really good one.
Glimmer of Genius though. Yeah. Oh. We talked
They
about this a couple
finally
weeks
did
ago.
it.
But yeah,
They gave us an instant speed draw card that was good.
scry 2, draw 2, also get 2 energy. So yeah, this is the thing. At common, at least, any card that used energy made energy, which was very important.
Yep.
And
There were no orphaned energy cards.
none of the energy cards felt busted. Like
Yeah.
a lot of them felt powerful, but there weren't any energy cards that was like, whoa, this thing's giving me way too much energy, or this takes too few energy. Like there's some that were better than that, like Voltaic Brawler
Yeah.
is very powerful.
God, that
Yeah.
card.
Right? But that card's power, the energy part is not as powerful. The fact that it only costs 2 mana
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
what's powerful. But the energy mechanic felt cool and fair.
Yeah.
And
And big ups to R&D.
yeah, apparently they've been trying to work on this since
Since-
Mirrodin.
Yeah, for like a decade.
Yeah.
This has been
And they-
a thing that they've wanted
They
to do.
they landed it. They
But-
stuck some
Yeah.
they stuck some hard landings this year.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see energy, in comparison to, like, I wonder if energy is going to be like, in comparison to like the cards that sort of come into play with counters on them and then are useless after their counters are gone,
Right. Things
Which-
like
like a tumble magnet or was it
Yeah.
tumble magnet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Or-
get 3 counters, and then when it's done, you
Or
have
the was it glimmering lands, the glistening lands? There's
the ones from Lorwyn where they come in with a counter and tap for any
Yeah,
kind of
what's
energy.
one of
and
their-
2
remove it.
counters, right?
Yeah.
The
shimmering.
shimmering.
Yeah. Or like Gemstone Cavern.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry.
But just the with the idea with energy being that it's like if they're just by themselves, the effect is exactly the same. Like
Yeah, if you play
a tumble magnet that had energy instead of regular counters, just by itself would be exactly the same.
Yes.
But there's this additional level
But then
of
you can-
flexibility.
If you have a card that uses energy and you spend all your energy, you can get energy from a different source,
yeah.
and still use it for the first card.
Yeah.
And yeah, it.
Yeah.
It's
I'm looking
redundancy.
forward to the upcoming iOS Magic title in which energy is going to be available through microtransactions.
Sounds
The-
dumb.
But yeah, it was a really interesting non-renewable resource.
Yeah.
That,
The
yeah.
Aetherworks Marvel was a little ridiculous, but to be fair,
Yeah.
it's a mythic.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
mean,
mythic.
like in standard, there's a deck that uses Aetherworks Marvel to cheat Emrakul into
Emrakul
play
into
on
play, yeah.
turn 4.
No, just to
turn
cheat.
5. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
just to cheat. Yeah.
filthy
You
cheaters.
just pay 6, tap it, pay 6 energy, win the game.
Yeah.
You could do it
That's how
on.
you
You
do
could
it.
do it on turn 4.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that's how the deck wins, right? You
Yeah.
play like
A
a
tune-
tune with Ether and then a puzzle knot and then
Crack the puzzle knot.
yeah,
Yeah, and you're good to go.
yep. 6 energy, Emrakul, deal with it.
All right, so
That's really sweet.
that was Kaladesh.
I know people think that Aetherworks Marvel was a design mistake, and that's fair, but
Yeah.
it's also sweet.
Commander 2060.
Man, those decks look like fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, Commander 2060.
Jelly, I didn't get to join you on
Yeah,
that stream.
that is
Yeah.
so Cam, you were the only one to partake in that stream.
The Brea deck was sweet. I wish these decks had more ways of interacting with each other because they didn't have much in the way of removal or in the way of counter spells or hand attack or any way. Like, you could see your opponents, like, sculpting their hands,
Yeah.
like, and getting things and taking things back out of their graveyard and putting them into their hands, and you had no way of preventing
I
that.
assume that
and
was
that.
I assume that was a design decision.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, and you know this, but I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
I assume that was a design decision to basically to let people do the thing.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. And I totally understand that.
Yeah.
It was just like this feeling of doom where somebody's like, okay, I steal your graveyard. And you're like, okay, I've got to turn to thought. No, I don't. No, I don't. You just see the, I love Alex's metaphor of the shipping container full of value that's being slowly lowered onto you. And
More
you're just,
value, please.
and you're just sitting there looking at it, like closing the distance, and you have no options. But yeah, I thought they were really fun decks. These are the best of these that they've done so far. And just don't let your opponent get a turn 1 burgeoning.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah,
Man, I thought-
and if they do resolve an early turn 1 burgeoning,
Flip, tilt. Leave.
convince the other players not to resolve lands until somebody draws draws enchantment removal, because
draws a
everyone who
shadow.
plays a land accelerates them more.
To
right?
be fair, I thought that game was going to be over on turn 5,
Yeah.
but it sure wasn't.
Yeah, no, I think we did pretty good in not dying to Surge very early
considering
on.
he got his like Cascade commander out there like on turn 3
Yeah.
or something goofy. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Have any of you played?
Surge, I think Surge went easy on us.
It's true.
Just a touch.
What was that?
Have any of you played enough Commander to have an opinion about the team commanders?
No.
No.
I mean, I've played enough Commander, but I haven't played with the team commanders. It's interesting. It's a cool idea. Again, I appreciate that they're just playing around with the design space. When last year it was Planeswalkers, this year
Or
doing this.
no, it was Experience last
2
year.
years it was Planeswalkers.
Yeah, Planeswalkers,
and
Experience.
counters.
I like the idea of Planeswalkers as commanders. I think that's neat.
I don't think they need to I don't think they need to add a new mechanic related specifically to the
Commander every year. Yeah. I'm kind of meh on the team thing. I like that you have your commander and that's your commander.
Yeah.
And you know.
Do they both sit in the command zone?
Yes.
Yes.
Huh, interesting.
And you choose, right? So it's a little weird. Again, I mean, it's cool that they're taking chances and trying things out.
I just wish there had been some kind of Oracle text where if one of your commanders has meld, the other commander can also be your commander. So you could play with Brea.
Brea. Oh, God.
Brea and Gisela.
Yeah.
I mean, house rules, right?
Yeah, I mean, like that, that
that's
seems like a house rule
I mean,
thing.
that's the joy of Commander is that it's such a casual format that chances are you're just playing it with sort of the same group of 5 or 6 people week in, week out, and you can kind of just do whatever you want to do with it. You don't have to follow the rules.
There's no PT commander that you're brewing
No,
for,
exactly.
right?
So just have fun with the format, and if you don't like something that Wizards is doing, then just ignore it. And if Wizards isn't doing something that you really want, then just do it yourself. That's kind of the joy of this game.
That was what we used to talk about in games with Games Workshop stuff, right? It's like, you don't like the new edition, Games Workshop is not going to come to your door and take away your books.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like they're still on the shelf, and you can
do whatever the hell you want.
And they used to print that in their books.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you don't like how this works, you're allowed to change it.
Yep.
All right, and that brings us to our final release of the year, which was actually just like 1 month ago, and it's a reprint, which was Planechase Anthology.
I want to get it, and I want to play Commander with it.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's definitely something that I want to play with. I think people love Planechase. I think the biggest
I love Planechase
I think the
so
biggest
much.
complaint was just it cost way too damn much.
That's fair.
And I don't actually know offhand what it cost or what people were charging for it. Which is totally fair, but I remember back in the day, years ago, when we played a lot more Paper Magic just for fun.
Yeah.
We did Planechase quite a lot, and Planechase is always super fun to do.
Yeah, well, Planechase did kind of a similar thing to the Monarch, where
Yeah.
it really made you rumble in.
Yep.
Yeah, it mitigated Cam's least favorite part of Commander, which is that it actually accelerated the games to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than just we're here for 5 hours.
Well, I mean, it depends on whether if you get the whatever Shiva plane.
Oh,
The game can be done pretty quick.
Yeah, the one where it does. You put counters on it,
Oh,
and the first
Gnarl?
person gets 1 damage done to them, and then they can roll to move. But hey, the next person gets 2 damage.
Yeah.
So
We were on that island for so long.
I think I took 21 damage off Nar Island, right?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, but that made me so happy because I was like, well, I just took 9 off Nar Island, but Kathleen's going to take 10, so I'm not going to roll the dice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we can,
And what are the chances of it coming all the way around to me?
again, somebody's going to roll the dice.
I can take 14. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think the main issue with the Commander with the Planechase Anthology was not the planes, it was the fact that it came with the Planechase decks, and at the time when the Planechase decks were made, those kind of decks were a little lower powered than what they do these days.
Right.
And so the Planechase decks are fun to play in Planechase, but there isn't actually a lot of in the decks in terms of the
I don't
larger
think so.
game.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
It's it would be like conspiracy anthology of just the conspiracies. Right.
I do like that the planes included in the anthology are all the planes from both sets, like from both editions of Planechase and all the promos, like all the it's every plane.
Yeah, so some of those planes are real hard to get.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And that was 2016 in Magic.
Yeah, wow.
It's a good year.
That was a lot of stuff.
It was a lot of stuff.
It was
So,
a prolific year for Magic.
So yeah, the biggest criticism. Let's talk about it real quick. That's too much stuff, is what people say. So Graham, your argument is it's not all for the same people.
Yeah, that's legitimate.
Like, I would say that that perhaps doing Eternal Masters and Conspiracy
In the same year is too much.
was probably too much.
in 2 months.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
That said, I don't think those are appealing to most of the same people. They appeal to
Yeah.
us. They
But-
both appeal to us, but I don't think that
Well-
they appeal to I don't think the Venn diagram overlaps as much as we feel like it might.
Well, the thing is that I don't think it would if they didn't turn these sets into reasons to reprint cards, right? If
Right.
Conspiracy had just been a really fun set that was just so clearly aimed at a casual play group and didn't have, because there were some pretty spicy reprints
Yeah.
that people were not expecting
That's
in
true.
Conspiracy, and then all of a sudden it was just like, bam, here's Berserk and
Show and tell.
and
Right, that was
Inquisition.
Inquisition, right? It's
Yeah,
just all of a
Inquisition of
sudden now
Ghostlight,
this
yeah.
becomes a set that the enfranchised hardcore players, which to be fair are the loudest and the ones that we hear from the most or we interact with the most, whether that be on the subreddit or talking to you guys about this podcast or during the Magic streams or the pre-releases, which also came out in 2016.
Hey,
That was a
yeah.
good thing. And look forward to the next one, January 6th. Twitch.tv/LoadingReadyRun. I'm very excited. I think that's kind of where people started to have a problem. I think the biggest problem a lot of people had when they criticize and say there was too much is that you don't have enough time to let the set kind of breathe and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because by the time you're a month into, Kaladesh, or I guess like a good example is, Eldritch Moon is the perfect example, right? Eternal Masters came out June 10th, and then a month and 6 days later, Eldritch Moon came out, which means Eldritch Moon spoiler season probably started about 2 or 3 weeks after Eternal Masters came out. True. So now you've only had 2 or 3 weeks of time to actually enjoy Eternal Masters before, now it's time to pay attention to Eldritch Moon. And then when Eldritch Moon came out, a month and a bit later, From the Vault Lore came out, but you couldn't really pay attention to From the Vault Lore because now we were deep into Conspiracy Take the Crown, and it was just like
The thing
it's
about
just
that,
set
though,
after
is-
set after set, and it's just like I just want to enjoy the one you just put out.
I agree with you. I'm not disputing anything that you just said. But there's also, with Eternal Masters at least, or specifically with Eternal Masters, most people probably just didn't draft it.
No, it's true.
But
Yeah.
the second biggest group of people probably drafted it at their local game store once.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, Eternal Masters comes out, you do one draft.
But it's not just about my complaint isn't necessarily about the play experience. It's about where your attention is at any given moment when you're thinking about Magic.
Yeah, but
Right,
I just
like-
mean that for most people, I don't think Eternal Masters
Yeah, sure.
took up much of their actual headspace. It was sort of like, Eternal Masters is coming out, all the spoilers are sweet, play a draft, don't care about it anymore.
So Eternal Masters is maybe not the best thing, but again, Conspiracy is a good example, right?
Yeah.
It's just
I do agree the summer was way too full of stuff.
Yeah, like it's just like I feel like okay, you have your 4 sets,
Yeah.
and that's good, and dual decks or whatever. I don't even like dual decks. Don't even really register in my brain,
no.
and I understand that they register in other people's brains because of the fact that they are an avenue for reprints, and I think everybody agrees that reprints are important.
Yep.
WotC needs to do a better job of reprints in general. I think they're learning. I think they're getting better. I think a lot of people this year were pretty down on the promos that they were releasing. The upcoming promo, which sort of I feel like broke the straw. The last straw was the insight card. The look at the top 4 cards of your library what's that? The weird like. Yeah, top 4 of your cards of your library, one pile face up, one pile face down.
Oh, yeah. Fortune's Favor.
Fortune's Favor,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
That's the promo coming up.
Yeah, that's an
And
F&M
it's just
promo.
like, it's the F&M promo. Nobody is going to go to F&M to get that card.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
I
It's
guess they
unplayed.
assumed it would be
Maybe.
more
Yeah.
played than it was.
I don't know. But, you know, there's always things that WotC can do
I quite
better.
like that card in draft.
I
in draft, it
agree,
was
yeah.
so much fun. I love that card
It
so
doesn't
much.
it doesn't really exist in
You
standard.
were there
though.
the first time that we resolved it. It was me and Cam, and our opponent did it wrong.
No, I was there. Yeah.
Oh, you were there, okay.
Yeah, and we got to draw 4 cards.
We got all 4 cards, yeah. It was sweet. But
Ridiculous.
I think, you know, there's obviously a lot of talk about everything that, you know, Wizards could do better. I think there's a whole bunch of stuff that Wizards does right. And it's good to, you know, talk about that. I'm looking forward to 2017.
Yeah.
We've got
Aether Revolt,
We've got Aether Revolt,
Amonkhet,
Amonkhet,
Hours of Devastation.
Hours of Devastation,
Devastation or Desolation?
Desolation. Either way, it
I
does
thought it was
not look good.
Devastation.
I think you're
Yeah.
right.
Either
I think
way,
it's
yeah, I'm not sure we're coming back to Amonkhet anytime soon after the Hour of Devastation.
And
Devastation.
then, oh, it is Devastation? Okay. And then
And then Ham.
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 which
so-
we know has been leaked, but we're not going to.
No, it hasn't.
Well,
Oh, yeah, because the company that produced it said that that wasn't even necessarily what it was going to be, or
Yeah.
that it was art they found on the floor, might have commissioned, or it was a word they made up.
yeah,
maybe.
Wizards said that art did come from them for a survey.
Yeah.
But that it might not be a real thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
All right, Wizards.
okay.
Whatever. But all those sets look great. I know we have Modern Masters 2017 coming out.
Yep.
That's actually really soon too.
Yeah.
I think Modern Masters
Yeah, it's like
2017 comes out in
March.
like March.
Wow.
Like it comes out in like a couple months.
Look for that on AFK.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll definitely be an AFK
Will,
thing.
will it just be us ripping a case for fetch lands?
We should do that.
Also, new arch enemy.
March 17th.
March 17th. Yeah, new arch enemy. Yeah, is
I'm
coming
excited
out
about
next year.
Interesting. Yeah.
I enjoyed arch enemy.
Which is exciting. I think I feel like if you stick with your 4 sets, you do your dual decks, whatever. I understand that some people really, you know, pay attention to those. Just, maybe slow it down in the summer. That's all we want.
Yeah.
I think just like if you do your 4 expansions and then one supplementary like draftable set and then a few other products, then that's fine. I think it's just the fact that there was
Eternal Masters and Conspiracy.
like
2 months apart.
That just felt like, okay, now we have 6 draftable boxed formats coming out in 12 months, and it's just like, this is a lot. I think that's probably what overdid it for most people.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about, what the two of you said about, and one thing that's sort of, I guess, a way to sort of combine that together is I feel like Wizards has been getting a lot better, or at least has been working to segment the Magic market more, or at least appeal directly to more segments rather than just sort of trying to produce sets that work for everybody.
Yeah.
And which is probably good in the long run, but it does make it so you don't have that idea of it's like everybody is like, while everybody is excited about the new set that's coming out, Eternal players are actually excited about like Eternal Masters coming out rather than the new set. Like they don't actually care about the new set.
Right.
And so it makes it so that it's like everybody in the Magic community isn't excited about the same thing all at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is how it used to be.
Right.
It's like it's like when a new set was coming out, everyone was focused on the new set.
Yep.
And the spoilers and everything.
Yeah.
Whereas now you can, because people know that there's all these different reprint sets coming out, the new, Amonkhet, there's less of an impetus on Wizards' part to put, legacy playables in Amonkhet.
Right.
Because they have another way that they can put those out.
They also just can't, right? You can't put those kind of powerful cards.
Right,
in
but in the past,
but they actually can with the masterpieces.
Right.
Yeah, with masterpieces,
and in
sure.
the past, they might have tried to work something in
Well,
there.
that's how we wound up with Mutavault and Thoughtseize.
Right.
In
Yeah,
standard.
which they've been like, that was a mistake.
Yeah, that was
we
that was
should
a bad
not have
move.
done that.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they've been getting better. Like they're better at separating that, which I think is probably good. but it does create a little bit of less of this sort of community all being excited about one thing all at the same time aspect, which I can see how that can feel a little different.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky because the Magic community, for us and probably for a lot of you guys, is we care about almost everything. That's just not the case for most people who play Magic, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, the majority of people who play Magic probably don't know that there were 11 sets released last year.
Yeah.
They probably know about the sets that they're able to buy at Walmart or Target or whatever, right? Like where they get their Magic cards.
Support your local game store.
And do that. I mean, obviously, if you don't have a local game store, then you do what you need to do.
Do what you got to do.
But I mean, the majority of people just sit at home and they play Magic on their kitchen table, and they don't know they don't really know what formats are, and they don't know that. They don't know what the next 3 sets that are coming out are. They don't pay attention to it. So, I mean, I understand that my view is skewed because of what I do and the places that I look when it comes to Magic news.
Yeah.
So, keep that kind of things in mind when
Yeah.
you're, criticizing or whatever.
I think what led to the feeling that there were so many products this year was the fact that now that the standard draftable sets are 2 blocks of 2 sets, we saw 3 planes this year,
Yeah.
right? And I think that may have been like, spoilers, he survives Hour of Devastation.
Our Devastation would come out
After that, I think.
Oh, okay.
after, wouldn't it? Yeah. No, it would have to. Wait. No. Wait. Yes. No. Yes. No. Well, no. Look at your. When did Eldritch Moon come out?
It does.
Okay.
Just looking at my phone.
Okay.
Afterwards.
Eldritch Moon is July. Yeah, it's July. So
Anyway.
June, July. So it'll be January, April, July, September are the big sets. Or the main sets.
Also, for some reason, the 3-letter code for Hour of Devastation is HOU.
Who?
How?
I mean, I guess
Hour?
I get
Hour
instead of
of
doing
blue.
HOD.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't want to do HOD. HOD.
Isn't it like HRD?
Yeah, that's
Heard.
true.
Anyway.
It's too
What
late. It
else?
can't be changed now.
Anything else for 2017?
Oh, although, yeah. Next time Wizards wants to release a set called Eldritch Moon and a set called Eternal Masters right after each other.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
EM. That's just bad.
EMN and EMA.
EMA.
Yeah.
Which? Who knows?
Isn't there something about that they don't actually get to choose
Yeah.
the set number? There's some
Probably.
reason why,
Yeah, I think so.
like, the set names are like, because I remember when NPH came out, they were like,
Like really? NPA? Because this is like.
that was New Phyrexia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris. With, like the Harold and Kumar movies were
Yeah.
popular at the time, and everyone was like NPH, and they're like, yeah, we don't get to decide these.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who gets the, like,
Hasbro.
why. Why
it's
Hasbro? I guess they're like, have to run them through lawyers to make sure they're not offensive to somebody.
I mean, 3-letter act can mean a lot of different things, so I don't know.
Anyway, I think that's it.
I was
Yeah,
going to say one other thing I'm looking forward to from 2017, but I don't remember what it was. I guess just the future of the onlines. Yeah, I mean, so like, I guess GP, like we'll be at some number of us will be at GP Vancouver next year.
Which is in
February, 3rd weekend of February in Vancouver. I know
It's by the way, it's super sweet that you guys want us to come to
your GP,
your
local
GPs.
GP.
We get a lot of questions online, like, "Hey, are you guys coming to Philadelphia? Hey, are you guys going to be at Sao Paulo or something?" And it's like we know if it's not Vancouver, Seattle, or Portland, you're basically not going
or
to see
Vegas.
us there.
Well,
possibly.
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
going to Vegas. My goal is to try to go to 3 GPs next year, but it's only going to be 2. And it's going to be Vancouver, and it's going to be Vegas. And the only reason I'm going to Vegas is because it's Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like the crazy triple GP weekend.
Yeah.
Which
I'm-
just seems like something I want to be a part of.
I'm just going to go to Vancouver and chain drafts.
Yeah, that's
Same.
what I'm going to
Yeah.
do because it's modern, and nobody likes modern except for literally everybody. At
Well, I
Vanderbilt.
could go play in the modern. I could play Modern Storm in the main event and lose and be utterly exhausted after 3 rounds.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
You
Yeah.
should do that.
Yeah, no, that
I'll be
sounds awesome.
drafting.
Oh,
Yeah,
3
and
draft,
also be
draft.
playing like this as like 2 other dudes.
Oh, I guess the
Or
other-
like
I
right
guess the
next to
other
each
thing
other.
is,
When the real way to play Storm is like, don't Thoughtseize me.
And I was reminded this by watching Wedge's video the other day. He talked about what he's looking forward to in 2017, and that is the future of online Magic. because they've talked about the fact that they're working on something that sort of bridges the gap between Duels and Magic Online, right? One thing that kind of acts as both, and oh my God, I want that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really, really, really want that. I really
There's
want that
so
for
many-
me, and I really want it for you guys, and I want it for new players, because, oh my God.
There's so many great digital card games out there.
Yeah.
And there's more being made all the time.
And Magic
And
is
there's
not one of them.
There's no reason that Magic shouldn't be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with them.
Yeah.
Because
Magic should be the industry
Not
leader,
only
right?
technically should they be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with them, we know that the game is better than all the other games, right? Like
Yeah.
even
It's
in
been around for like
franchised-
25 years.
Yeah, even in franchised hardcore Hearthstone players who love that game recognize that Magic is a better game.
Oh, yeah.
It is a much better game. And if you disagree, that's fine. But God, it's so good. And there's just so little out there for new people. Because it's just like, I'm new and I want to play Magic and I want to do it online. It's just like,
Yeah.
okay, here's
Yeah.
Duels, but it's like not really Magic
And if you
all
want
the
to
way.
play Magic Online, here's some Unix commands that might come in handy, right? Do you know how to
hack the
program
Planet.
assembly?
I mean, yeah. So I'm really hoping that we get to hear. I'm not expecting it. I'm not expecting anything to come out next year, but for certainly them to start talking about it would
That
be
would be
really
nice, yeah.
be really exciting. Give us all something to get really stoked for in the future.
Big time.
So yeah, I think that's it.
All right.
That was
All
a
right.
long time.
Yeah.
I guess let's really quickly
Good talk.
remind you. January 6th at 11 a.m. Pacific.
That is
I'm
a
going to put the
Friday.
image up right now. The what is it? I don't even remember what the name of the set is
Aether
called.
Revolt.
anymore. Aether Revolt.
Ether Revolt.
Aether Revolt pre-release featuring some number of Loading Ready Run members. As of this time, I don't actually know who's going to play in it.
I hope it's me.
Me too.
And then we have Jennifer, Mrs. Mulligan, I believe her last name is Long.
Yeah.
Streamer. We have Doc.
Yep.
Streamer.
The Doc. People have been asking for Doc for a while.
For a while.
Yeah.
We've tried to get him out here a few times, but it hasn't worked.
yeah,
And-
he's got this.
Turns out when you're studying to be a lawyer, you're really busy.
But once you become a lawyer, you have all the time in the world.
exactly.
well, he's
Must
still
be
in law
nice.
school, but he's articling now too.
No, he works. I think he's
Busy guy.
he
Yeah.
works for the DA. I think. Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he's going to be here. Really excited for that. We got Kenji coming back, streamer. So you kind of see a bit of a theme going on here.
Yeah.
And then this go around's wizard employee is Trick, who has actually been integral to actually making the pre-release happen over the last year and a bit. So
He's been trying to get up to the pre-releases for a while.
Yeah.
So we're happy to finally have him on site.
Yeah, so I'm really super excited that he's going to be here. And then, four of us will be playing in it, 11 a.m. You'll notice that this is a Friday, not a Saturday. That is due in part because I believe there is some coverage happening during the weekend on the Saturday that we didn't want to conflict with. So they said, it's fine, you do it on a Friday. So we're actually doing this the day the set is announced. Like, the day the full spoiler is released is the day that we're doing this. Like,
So we're going to be like, we don't know any of these.
Mere hours after the set is fully released, we'll be playing it here or over on our
I'm
Twitch
tempted
channel.
to kind of go in blind.
Yeah.
Do
Do you have a choice?
Well, no, really. Like, I mean,
Oh,
like,
you mean with just not even looking at other spoilers?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I assume, like, the way the spoiler works is they've only spoiled about half the cards until like 1 or 2 days before they just drop the set.
It's
right?
a little more than that, and the majority of the cards
But
that
yeah, this
don't
will be
get
the
spoiled.
day. This will be the day that they drop the set.
The set,
Yeah.
like
So-
it like drops at like 9 a.m. probably.
Almost assuredly, we're going to be building the decks before that.
Before, yeah.
Yeah.
Meaning, we're going to be like, what is this?
What are all these cards?
I can't believe they reprinted Brainstorm.
But so yeah, please,
at Common
please look forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
with Split Second.
We've got one more podcast actually between now and then next week, and we'll probably be talking about spoilers because
Yeah, January 6th is really soon.
Yeah, that's
it's 2 weeks away right now. In exactly 2
Jeez.
weeks, we will be probably playing the first match
I just
of the day.
mentally have this like gulf of time between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
That it feels
Man,
like,
I'm-
there's so much time, but no.
I got to get some Christmas shopping done in the next few days. You know what I'm saying?
Day and a half.
Yep.
Literal day and a half. I'm going after we're done. Done work
There's
today.
just like a single bead of blood raised up. Like,
out your ears,
Yeah.
down your neck.
Okay.
Time to go to the gas station.
That's it for Tap Tap Concede. Again, cardkingdom.com/loadingreadyrun. Patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. Please check those out. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. And I guess we'll talk to you
Next week.
next week.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.